Lindsay, there's a spider on the camera. Lindsay, I repeat, spider on the camera. Have no fear. Demon is right there. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Markus Show. No way. Spider on the camera. My biggest fear. Look at the front on the lens. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Hello. We got us deep. Watch out now. Get it. Get it. Squish that bastard. Demon. I hate spiders, y'all. If you didn't know this, spiders and Markus do not get along. It's not exactly how I thought I'd start the show, but we'll take it. What is up, and welcome to the Markus Show. It is a beautiful Wednesday, I think. And that rhythmic thumping you will hear, don't worry about it. It's just my neighbor. He's got an indoor golf simulator. Likes to feel important. You know, I love him, right? You know, the same way that McCarthy loves his current position. Oh, man. Interesting world we're currently living in, huh? That is something that is just a wild world. But you know what? Let's start with what the hell is going on. This is Mornings with Markus. This is where you and me, us and we're going to get together and we're going to hang out. And we're going to talk about what's going on in the world. Because I don't think enough people are talking about the important things. And if you guys know anything about Markus, you know that he has a lot to say. You know, Twitch is where this show, it wasn't not where it was born, because this show was born by a little boy dressed up as a Santa Claus. You know, I've wanted to perform and I've wanted to talk and enjoy the world through my, like, the way I view it. You know, I got a unique eye, and I've always enjoyed talking about it and entertaining and making people laugh and be happy. And streaming makes a lot of sense. You know, I'm not exactly sure the path we're going to take to get there, but I do know that I'm never going to stop trying. And that's what brings you to today, Mornings with Markus, where you join me, the tree, and possibly the ladies three, which is my dogs, okay? That's why that's funny. Funny, hey, keep going. I'm already cold. My poor ears and head. I'm bald. There's no insulation. It's a hell of a thing. So what I want to do is I want to spend this time in the mornings talking with you guys, right? Like, I want to talk about what's going on in the world. I mean, from politics to drugs to relationships, and essentially what you guys want to talk about, you know? Next time I'm going to start the fire because my jaw's already starting to, you know, apparently the older you get and the fatter you get, the colder you get. I used to be able to swim inside of a frozen lake, buck naked with a dagger in my teeth, hunting for soft-shell crab. And now I'm sitting outside with 4 layers on, jiggering my jaw because I'm chilly. It's a different world, man. The older you get, the harder it gets. And not surprisingly enough, not everything. That's a dick joke, by the way. God, it feels good to be live. I really do enjoy being live, man. Because it's just, I have so much to say, and I say it when people are listening. If you're listening, I'm probably talking. And there's very few things in this world other than Cheeks eating stuff constantly, my dog Cheeks, that I enjoy more than sharing my thoughts and helping people understand the world or maybe see something different. You know, talking is my vessel of joy. And live and performing and interacting with the world with your mouth is just a great, you know, some people make a little more money doing it with their mouth than I do. But that's something I'm unwilling to do. I have a horrible gag reflex. And it's just, I could honestly never perform in a way that I would feel deserving of money. So here I am, shivering outside, because I thought it'd be a lot warmer. It's not. I have no idea what the temperature is right now, but all I can think about is how cold I am. No, I'm good. It's, you know, I've lost feeling in this year. The last time you guys saw me on YouTube, I made a proclamation that I'm going forward. And I'm getting rid of all the old stuff, and you know, we're moving on to the great beyond of content creation, and that beyond place is high quality, right? Well, I think that's bullshit. I think a big part of what I liked about streaming when I loved it the most and I was finding my most success was just the natural flow and organic conversations that we would have. You know, Rex would come in and talk about his new boil, right? And Exner would come in and talk about her new her new Lamborghini that she just bought. It was just this exchange of goods and services, and those goods and services were love and joy and happiness, and we laughed and we cried but what I wanted to do is, when we're having these shows, I wanted to have a show that was just a little more, what's the word, better, you know, a little more better, because you guys deserve better. Yes, we can be casual. Yes, we can hang out. You know, we got a lemon tree over here. It's casual. But outside of our casual lemon tree, you know, we have each other. It's very cool. I built almost everything you see around you. Okay? This chair, I didn't build it. There's exceptions. I didn't make this shirt either. Don't be ridiculous. What do I look like, a seamstress? I am not. Okay? Lindsay's learning, but she didn't make this either. Okay? I couldn't even draw this chicken if I tried. But what I did build is that flag back there. You know what I did build was that shed back there. Okay, this chicken coop to the left that you can barely see. Okay, I made those chickens. I made them. I made those ducks. Okay? I made all this you see. Is the land before me is owned by thee. Belated! Well, yeah. What is up? Storyteller dude. What is up, Story, man? Oh my gosh. So, Story's a good dude. He's a really good dude. And I don't know all the details, but all I can say is it sure sounds like karma is finally paying it back to our boy Story. And I can't express how much I love that. Truly love that, man. It is just unbelievable. Chip, holy cow, what is up, you freaking legends? Look at all these people coming in. Oh, man, I feel loved. And this is what I wanted, right? Because I wanted to get back to this, to us, to talking about what's going on. Like, we have politics stuff going on in America that's kind of crazy, with McCarthy getting voted out of the House Speaker. Okay, we got international crazy shit going on with, like, the war in the Ukraine, and obviously the American relationship between that. We got awesome things happening in video games, like playing Starfield, loving that game. I got a baby due in like 6 minutes. It is unbelievable, y'all. We have a whirlwind, okay? We have the successes of depression and the fallbacks of anxiety, right? We have the good, the bad, the different, and the in-between. We got shit to talk about, and that just can't be done on YouTube. It's just not the same. We will produce great things out of this, of course. Of course! Okay, we're going to create some high-quality shit every day. But what we're mostly going to do is talk to each other, because we need more of that. Okay, I want it to be really normal for when you're out there buying your Wiener Schnitzels and your hot dogs and your kielbases, and you're trying to think of another region that has tubular meat salami, or your Italian salami, right? Or your French salami. Now I got it. I'll just do every region's salami. But my point is, no matter what tube of meat you're putting in your mouth, we're going to do it together, because meat has always been put in tubes. If you think about it, there's logic there. Whew. Man, I am see, this is good. This is what we're here for. I know I just kind of keep repeating it, y'all. I know I keep repeating it, but this is the first show of many, because ultimately, here's the purpose, right? Mornings with Markus is going to kind of be a little video journal from yours truly, right? Based on the news I'm hearing, based off of the happenstance of the world, based off of what's going on in my life. We're going to come here and we're just going to talk about it, and we're going to break it down to its purest form. Like this morning, I was watching a lot of stuff on relationships and kind of how they're changing and how relationships are viewed and seen and executed. And ultimately, the main point of all this information and data and yada yada, all this shit that everyone talks about except talking about the point, is that people are lonely. I don't care what you say it. I don't care if, like, women are more choosy than ever and men are bigger pussies than they've ever been. Ultimately, right now, we have an issue where we got a lot of people who are really alone because they either think they're worth too much or not enough. And that's crazy, man. That is crazy. Dating, sex, physical touch, kissing, romantic interludes, you know, compliments amongst people you love and respect. Those are all things that are as natural to us as breathing. Okay? We swim in the ocean. We love each other. These are facts. These are facts. I don't know why I said swim in the ocean. Because we're not really aquatically based. You know, we're terrible when it comes to swimming. The only reason humans can go into water is because our brain taught us not how to die. You think about that for a second? The only reason we should swim is because we need to survive falling in water. Like gorillas and monkeys can't swim. Do you know that? That's why around zoo prisons, where they have those gorillas, they're surrounded by a trench of water because they have a natural fear of water because they can't swim. Did you know that? Well, now you do. So next time you're going to those oppression stations and you're throwing peanuts at, Jojo the monkey boy, maybe you should think about how he's scared to death. And maybe that's why he's chucking poop at you. I'd be whipping poop if it was my only weapon. Like, I'm kidnapped, help. I'm just throwing poop at the wall, help me, but it's in gorilla. So we don't know. We just think it's poop. It's a call for help. Kind of random, but I met Tiffany. Who? Tiffany? Who's Tiffany? Who's Tiffany Thiessen? Thyssen. Tiffany, that has to be Thyssen, right? Last week, if you know who she is that girl that let go of Jack on the board and he fell into the ocean when there was so many other ways that could have gone down? Right? It was Jack, and I think they were on some kind of boat. Is that who Tiffany is? No, unfortunately, I don't know who Chip is. Chip, girl from Saved by the Bell? Wait, Kelly. See, now you're talking in my world again. So when I watched Saved by the Bell, guess who my favorite character was? There were two of them, and they were tied for first. Zach and Screech. Now, what does that say about your boy Markus if I related to the leader and the loser? No in between for me. I live the extremes. I define them by definition. Oh my gosh. But anyway, Kelly, she was the brunette, right, with the big hair. Nah, I didn't like her as much. She was probably my least favorite girl of all of them. She had that Topanga look. And now controversial. Topanga was not my kind of banga. You know what I mean? Topanga and me would have been friends. But outside of that, nothing. She would have longed for me. I would have been curious what she looked like nude. But outside of that, I would have probably not had any desire. You know, and that's why me and Kelly didn't get along in Saved by the Bell. Like, anytime there was a Kelly scene, I just kind of found myself drifting. Just caring less, you know? I think with Kelly, they did the bulimia story. But anyway, so what'd you and Tiffany do? Did you go get coffee? That's cool as shit. How old is she now? You know? Because let's see, I was about 30 when that show came out. And it's been about 40 years since it aired. So she's got to be in her 90s, right? Poor Tiffany. You know, they don't age well in Hollywood. You either go real hardcore and end up looking like Sandra Bullock. Oh, bless her heart. Sandra B., she was that ageless, timeless beauty. She was aging almost as good as Heidi Klum. And then something got in her brain and convinced her that she was not pretty. And then she just destroyed everything about her looks. So freaking sad, man. It's so sad. Because ultimately, like, y'all are beautiful in your own way. You know? Everybody's got something they must choose. That's not as cool as mine. So the point being, y'all, have I made enough? Have I said enough to make a point? I feel like I'm off topic. I was talking about relationships, okay? So here's one thing, let me tell you. Okay, we're back on relationships right now. A lot of people feel really alone. And I got a theory as to why that may be. Okay? Not something about. It's social media. Social media and technology and texting has dramatically changed the way that we communicate to each other as individuals. The expectation on communication has become, it needs to be immediate or you're doing something wrong. If you take a while to call me back, if you take a while to text me back, if you take a while to thumbs up my Tinder hole, you are somehow being slighted. It is an offense to delay response because, well, why would you? It's right in your pocket. You can just pull it out and respond, right? Like, you got nothing going on. So with that expectation now being part of society because of how social media and technology has made us communicate, it's almost like the idea of thinking has gone out the window. Because now, hey, we got this. You're working through it together. I know, the huffy. I'm huffy too. I get it. It's like we're in traffic in LA. They got 47 lanes and somehow everyone's pissed. Yeah, that's the traffic. That's the problem. Not population, huh? Good girl, baby. Okay. Whew. See? And she reinforces my point. You know, everything is so immediate. Everything needs an immediate, insane response. Now imagine we're applying that same logic to dating. We're applying that same logic to how we interact with each other on one of the most fundamental principles of our biology. Getting it on. Okay? We are designed to bang. It is the inherent goal of our species is to bang. Now, the best and most appropriate way to accomplish banging is by being an amazing, good person who deserves it. They do it in nature. You got to be the prettiest, right? If you're one of them birds, you know, you throw up your wings and you do your little dance. Okay? They are trying to be the best. The desire to hook up, the desire to procreate, the desire to fall in love is a driving force across all living creatures, all the way down to the cellular level. So to deny that is to deny existence itself. So now that we've established that romance and getting naked with each other is normal as hell, how do we do it in the best way possible? Okay, Skechers. Are these Skechers? I think they're wheelies. So if we're gonna make love in all the right places, okay, how do we do it best? Like I was saying before, be the peacock, the noble bird that must strut his stuff because he earned the right to hook up with Lady Peacock. Okay, it's not a given. He doesn't jump out of a tree and bite her on the neck and say, surprise. No, he dances. He looks pretty. He works hard. Okay, the fish in the ocean that builds these elaborate artistic homes just so that the women will come and pay attention to them. Okay? And the noble human male does everything he can to not stink in public. He tries his best to make sure that the way he says he wants to see you naked at least makes you smile. That's hard. Do you know how hard it is to tell somebody that you want to see them naked indirectly? It's ridiculous. But we do it because it's the right thing to do. We want y'all to feel appreciated. We want you to feel pretty. Now, if the inherent desire of a man is to make a woman happy so that they can build a family and build a species together, I like to think, now I'm not a woman, believe it or not, but I like to think that what women want isn't all that different. They want to feel appreciated. They also want to earn that appreciation. If it's given to them because they're worshipped in spite of all their flaws, they're just going to be bitches. Same as a guy would. Humans need to be challenged. They need to be pushed to be better. And speaking from experience, the one who survived, Lindsay, she can handle the pushing. Okay? She likes it. Now, it's not always easy, and sometimes she cries. But we work through it together. And she's better because of it. She's a little tired at the end. That's okay. So am I. It's a lot of effort. But when it comes to personal improvement, That's what you got to do. You got to push through. And sometimes you got to take the pushing. So if you don't have somebody behind you, I got this. If you don't have somebody behind you pushing as hard as they can to thrust you forward in your life and make you feel a way you've never felt before, you need to change that. And I can tell you, one of the best ways to get somebody in your corner is to find a relationship. Find the individual that is worth loving and seeing naked. The physical and the emotional come hand in hand. They really do. And at the end of the day, all you really want is for them to come to you with love in their heart. But that doesn't happen without effort. That doesn't happen without you being a person that also deserves the love. And for a lot of us out there, I know it's super difficult because you may not love yourself. You may look in the mirror and see the flaws. You may listen to the person in your head and hear all the things that you're doing wrong and incorrect. That's the person we don't listen to. That's the person that gets defeated in this community. That's the person that gets fought against by being here in the morning, talking with Markus. Because whether you're having relationship problems, whether you're having loneliness problems, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the solutions. So focusing on the solutions, when it comes to relationships, what do you do if you're lonely? Well, you find people to be with. It sounds simple on its face, but it's really not. Because the first thing you got to ask yourself, are you comfortable being alone with yourself? If the answer to that is no, why the hell would anybody want to be with you? I know that sounds kind of harsh, but think about the person who doesn't like themselves, somehow expecting other people to like them. And that's why whenever I say love yourself, it's a very literal thing. A lot of times when I'm not feeling great, or if I'm having a bad day, or, pretty much the asshole inside who's trying to make me feel bad about myself starts gaining a little traction. I have found myself very often and very frequently looking at myself in the mirror, even when I don't want to, because I don't like the guy that's looking back. Or at least that's what I think. But I've learned that through force can sometimes come release. Ironically, both can occur in the bathroom. I thought, okay, poop jokes aside. But because I've learned to embrace the harder things so that I can ultimately hope to become a better person, I've learned, go look in that mirror. Because even though I have fallen, even though the depression and the anxiety has taken hold in a certain aspect, that wasn't always the case. I worked really hard to learn to love myself and learn to be very confident, and that guy still exists. So in those dark times, I find myself going, nope, go look in the mirror. Make sure you still can. So I look in the mirror, and it's not great at first, but I'll tell you what, man, within a few seconds, that guy that loves me looks right back, and I just kind of start to smile a little bit. Now, that's not always easy, but I can tell you, self-preservation is in our nature. We're born to be alive. And there's a lot of things inside of us that remind us that being alive is the most important. So as we push through the pain and we do the things that work best to make us happy, we find that happiness. So as I'm looking at this guy and he's looking back in the mirror, I can't help but just remember, like, oh yeah, pretty good. Hey, stop it. Quit. Lay down. Enough. Lay down and stop it. I know you love yourself. I'm so glad that the COVID shackles keep getting shaken off, because we need to continue to be a part of a society that likes seeing each other. We need more conflict, believe it or not, because through conflict comes peace. And going back to my point is we get so caught up in our head that we forget what reality is like. We get so obsessed with our weight that we forget to weigh ourselves and see that it's been, if anything, you probably weigh the same if you've gained anything at all, right? Or we forget to look in the mirror and we go, wow, I'm not as bald as I think I am, but I like the way I look bald, so that's why I shave. Okay? You see the jawline that you thought you don't have. And you look good. All these self-preservation mechanisms, they just exist, y'all. If you go on a walk, it's hard to not come back slightly better than you were before, even if the whole time you're just stewing in it. So as you learn to love yourself, you will quickly find out that people begin to love you too. And what you used to think were just, compliments for the sake of having a compliment or request for selfish needs. It's like, no, people like you and they want to be a part of your life. And then as you continue to do this, believe it or not, you swipe right on the right lady. And then you find the love of your life who's about to pop out a baby Markus. Yeah, I see that belly. It's beautiful. But none of this can happen if you didn't love yourself first. And that's why I say, become the person that is worthy of love, and you will probably find it. So say, what if you found it? Say you found it, but it's not as good as you hoped it could be. Well, the first question is, do you like this person that you're with? I know that's a really hard question. No, I know this is a really hard question for most people to have to face. Don't you dare. Lay down. Cheeks, lay down. Good girl. Good. Down. All the way. All the way. Good girl. You got to ask yourself, do you like this person? I know that's hard to say. And I know it's a really hard question to answer. But if that question, if you even think it's a no, you have some harder questions to ask. If you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there's nothing this person could do to hurt me enough to leave, you don't have any further questions. You're just struggling. And now, well, you got questions, but it's not about if you should be with this person or not. It's how do you become better? How do you improve so that the happiness of each other can grow? It's a two-way street. But say if you have a no to that first question, do I like this person? You need to ask, you need to ask yourself, what do you like? And are you doing those things? Or have you chosen to stop doing the things you liked? Because that's a very important distinction. If somebody is telling you to stop doing a certain thing because they don't like it, that's up to you to decide to stop. If you've done it to make them happy, if you've done it for the benefit of the relationship, that is fine. That is a decision to make. But you have to be happy with that decision and live with it and move forward. But if you never came to terms with that, the things you're sacrificing, the things you're giving up for that individual that you love, and you simply did it to keep the peace, that resentment is going to carry with you forward for the entire relationship. Every time you see that motorcycle, you're going to say, that bitch. Well, it may not start that way, but you're going to blame her for not having one. Okay? Every time you see some topless couple having sex on the freeway, you're going to say, that whore, that could have been me. It probably wouldn't have been because you don't got the balls. But if you did and you see it, it's going to hit you. It's going to say, damn it. That could have been my life. And that's a regret. And I truly believe nothing will sit on a person's soul heavier than regret. Regret carries with you like a ball and chain that's attached to your balls. And it's the heaviest thing that will ever live. Sure, you'll forget about it certain days until you see that bike. And then it's all over again, like the first fight you ever have. There's no resolution there. And if I'm describing your relationship, guess what? Y'all need to talk to each other. If you're into some kinky stuff and she ain't providing it, maybe she doesn't know you're into it. If you're feeling alone while you're sitting right next to each other, you probably should tell her. And vice versa. This goes for both ways. Tell each other. You should never feel alone in the same room as your partner. You should never feel alone in a room by yourself. Unless you're bored. Because if you're bored, you probably want to do something. So as you seek out the companionship that you'll need, you know, if it's and we talked about the incremental levels, you know, if you don't have any friends to hang out with that you truly trust and love, that's step one. If you do have friends, but now you're wanting romantic or sexual energy, that's step two. And then step three is love. And then step four is work on it for the rest of your life until it's dead. It's like planting a tree. It takes forever, but it's awesome. Every year it grows, it gets bigger, stronger, and faster. And I saw content. Storyteller Merc being content. And that's so fantastic. Because from the chaos, you become content. And as you become content, you start to want. As you start to want, your desires grow. As your desires grow, so does what you can accomplish and acquire. As you accomplish and acquire more, your happiness just makes the world everything better. And then you're just surrounded with joy and success. But all of that stems from action. All of that stems from doing. All of that stems from effort. And if you're not doing the effort, you're not going to find the success. It's that fucking simple. Including in a relationship. The rings on it, well, I don't wear one. Fat fingers. But the rings on it, that's not the end. That's the beginning. When you say I do, story just started. That's chapter 1, y'all. And the book does not have an ending. Mine's going to be awesome. But nuns and buses on fire, I save them all. And then for some reason, instead of getting off, I just let go of that last nun's hand as me and the bus fall. It's like he could have just jumped, and I don't. Because, you know, but that's my ending. Okay, you got to write your own. But I can tell you that ending is going to be filled with love if you want it to be. Or if you let it be. You know, just like Babe Ruth, man. Legends ever die. But here, what is it? I don't know. It's from Sandlot. So in a world where we talk pretty ethereal today, we talked about relationships, we talked about just kind of what's going, I guess the direction we want Mornings of Markus to be. It's pretty cool to get back on here and so easily have stuff to say. You know, the dogs are just helping always. And it works. Hey, what are you doing? Hasn't even been an hour, you suckers. We missed you, bro. Not been the same, seriously. Story that melts my heart to see, man. And read. And hear, because I can hear myself. You know? Imagine if we couldn't, though. Like, hear ourselves, but we still knew how to talk. How would that even work? Like, everything is inner. I guess that's what being psychic would be. Well, and for like anybody here, anybody hanging out, anybody listening to this is what I want to do. You know, I want to inspire, I want to educate, and I want to entertain. If I do any one of those three, I did my job right. That has been the mission statement for this since the very beginning. We're like 18 years in at this point. We haven't even started. How is that good or bad? I mean, let's just say we've been honing our skills. Like, I'm a monk that went to the... do monks go to the mountain temples and then become monkerier? Or do you go to the temples and become a monk? How does that work? You know? Because I feel like I'm already a monk who did his first, like, you know, certification of monkness. But now I'm looking for more. Like, I want to expand. You know, like, if I was Batman... I had already got my training through the League of Shadows. But now, I need to learn how to fly. But because I'm Batman, I can only use technology for that. So, but technology costs money, which I don't have. So I'm kind of like Iron Man in the desert. I'm using what I got to make my escape armor so that I can rocket off into outer... Well, so he rocketed off and he crashed, but he did get free from the terrorists. So then after that, I mean, his stock tanked after he got out of the weapons business. So really, if you think about it, I mean, Iron Man took a huge hit becoming a hero. You know, his business almost got taken over by Luther. Frickin' he's got this thing, which is cool, but he's always worried about dying now. Like, imagine sleeping on your chest with that thing. So, I think my point, though, is I'm not any of those guys because they're not real. Storyteller Merc says, Batwoman? I mean, I don't think I have the figure. And then, which Batwoman? Because I'm no way in hell am I being the paralyzed Barbara. Fuck that. I ain't wheeling around. There's no way that a staircase is going to stop me. So, can't be the paralyzed. That's off the table. Oh, Exner, Story. Oh, you guys, seriously. I appreciate you being here. So what I want to do is, like it's kind of stated in the beginning, I kind of want to turn this into a video journal, which is tough because the hard part about me is I can't help but entertain. I am such a showman. Anytime I get on here, like, oh no, we're going to talk about Senator McCarthy getting kicked off of the House Speaker position. It's like, shut the hell up. Okay, you want to get educated, go to C-SPAN. Okay, if you want to be entertained, get your asses over here. Okay? It's just ridiculous. The current state of it all. You know? Everything is such a smoke and mirror pony show of assholery, man. Everyone's so concerned about what people think about themselves and what other people think of them rather than what world we're living in. It's like you'd stand in a shit shower as long as everybody believed it was piss. And it's like, what? Both of those are terrible. Like, why are we picking between shit and piss? Can't we just all agree that the world's a little fucky right now and we need to have a general push towards a realistic happiness? Everything's so extreme. Like, certain sectors are doing the best they've ever done while other sectors are terrible. Milk costs $20, but a car, well, car's a bad example. But like computers and stuff are cheaper than they've like realistically ever been. Like what we can get. Like technology is more accessible than ever, but basic commodities are becoming inaccessible. It's interesting, isn't it? And so much of that is because we now have such a delicate system where people rely on others for basic necessities. That is why it's so dangerous. We have in the grand majority of humans don't know how to feed themselves. They know how to buy food. They don't know how to acquire food. They couldn't go get food. That's a bad thing. I'm not saying you need to know how to farm and like, yes, I am actually. I really am, because you can have this knowledge without being a hermit in the mountains. Okay, you can know how to grow vegetables and raise animals and do all of these self-sufficient things, make your own bread, make your own meals, while still participating in modern society. And that's where a lot of people, I think, have trouble seeing it. It's like, well, I don't want to live in the backwoods. It's like, you don't have to. But if you only know how to get food when there's electricity, that's bad. This is a very modern thing. These amenities are a couple generations old. Okay, it's an exaggeration, but not much. I mean, as well as a grandma's ago. That's 2 generations ago. Preservatives were new. Like canning and jarring, that's a newish technology, y'all. It doesn't seem like it, but a couple hundred years is new. That's a dangerous change of culture in a wildly short amount of time. And the biggest example for that is disease. We're getting a lot of that lately, aren't we? Our food supply becoming contaminated. There's a reason that type of shit happens. It gets too centralized, too focused. And if that focus becomes tainted, if the point of intersection becomes tainted and there's only like 6 of those points of intersection, losing 1/6 of your food supply is bad. And ultimately, I do believe we will always be able to adapt, overcome, change. But I don't want it to be shitty. I don't want us learning these lessons to cause global shutdowns, because that's stupid. So the best advice I can give you on this one is you really need to test yourself periodically to make sure that you can live as independent as you can. You know, like we have medicines we need, we have stuff we need, but you really should from time to time test what you actually need. You know? Like, see how long you can live off of a certain way that you may not have done for a while. Like, I'm not going to buy bread for a month. I'm going to figure out how to make it. I'm going to make bread for a month. I won't buy it for 1 month. And the next month, you say, I'm going to make at least one meal homemade that uses my bread, right? And then you train yourself to become self-sufficient. And then you have these skill sets that you just get to keep forever. You know, instead of calling a handyman, you try to fix it until it's permanently broken. It's already broken. Try to fix it. And if you break it more, good job. Way to learn. Way to try. You learned what not to do. But ultimately, you're not this puppet of the system that relies on the system to make your life happen. Okay, remember when Pocono Go? Do you remember? That's the Korean one. Sorry, I always get those confused. Do you guys remember Pinocchio? Okay, he comes out and everyone thinks he's a puppet. Okay, and then all of a sudden he just rips those strings off and starts jamming. You know, I got no strings to hold me up. And then he falls. It's kind of funny, right? But the point is cut those bitches, man. It's way easier to let somebody else make your decisions, but it's a lot worse. And I mean that. Nobody knows you better than you. Even me. I don't even know you better than you know you. Maybe Lindsay. But I study her like the Rosetta Stone. Okay? I'm going to learn the biblical language here. Hang from a ledge just to make sure if you ever have to, you can. Because you'd much rather learn how long you can hang from a ledge in a controlled environment than when you're hanging from Nakatomi Plaza and you die. That's way worse. Way worse. You have so much more capability in you than you know. But if you never tap into it, that's kind of rude. I was going to say you're useless, and that's not true. The skill, that potential, it just becomes squandered. And I would never want that for any of you. I wouldn't want you to waste your time. Because our time is so precious. Our time is all we have. You know? Because once you're out of it, you get reincarnated as a gerbil. Imagine how long it takes to go from gerbil to human again. You got like at least 32 reincarnations before you're even looking at a gorilla. So that ain't the route, man. Human is the top. After here, you go back to the bottom based off of how good you did as a human. And you'd be lucky to get gerbil level. Okay? Most people aren't living a life that gets them straight to gorilla on the next round. They're living a life that gets gerbil and below. And for the ones who are below, I don't even want to talk to you. Okay? Gerbil's minimum for us. Well, in Exeter, that's why we, the healthy ones, have to practice catching people who fall from a ledge. Because in a village, there's many skills, and each person serves a different purpose. If you're not physically strong, you can be mentally strong. You can be there to support. You can be there to encourage. You can be there to educate. And if you ever find yourself hanging from a ledge, you're going to look down and see a Markus, a Lindsay, a Story, and all the other people in the community ready to catch you. Because we know where you may lack in physical health, you give us so much more in emotional and love and support and mental. Everybody has a place. But the ultimate point, though, is if you don't use it, there'll be nobody there to catch you. You know, like that's kind of the point. Because if you think you're a good person, but you never do any of the actions of a good person, there probably won't be a lot of people that think you're a good person. And as much as that's a bummer and it's not fair, as them's the kicks. You got to do the things necessary to be considered the person that you want to be considered. If you want to be considered a considerate person, I could have used something else, but let's get as many considerates in as we can. You have to do the actions that of consideration, because that's how that works. If you want to be a loving person, you have to do the actions of a loving person. And that's why I'm just so big on self-awareness. Because if you know who you are, you'll know what you're doing. And if you know what you're doing, you'll do the things you want to do. And you will be happy because of it. The people who go against their nature are the ones that are the most upset. Because they either constantly feel like they're wrong or they're constantly hurting someone. This ain't the place for self-doubt. Okay? This is the place for greatness. This is the Markus Show. So, yeah. I think with that being said, storyteller got me. Storyteller Merc, bro, I'm so good. I'm coming back as an emu to terrorize everyone. And then there's the reward animals, right, Story? You know, like if you do good, say you're a trickster or whatever, you'll come back as like what's a good one? Emu is pretty good. Because if emus are mean as fuck. If you guys don't know about that, emus will bite your ass and twist it off. Okay, they get a full cheek in that beak and it's gone. So emus are known for terrorizing people, which would be pretty fantastic. If I was going to come back as an animal, man, I mean, I'd always wanted to fly. The only problem with birds is that it's such a chaotic life, you know? You're either attacking or constantly defending. There's not a lot of peace in the bird world. They're crazy. But flying, though, holy moly. Because even if you were like a bird of prey, you don't see a lot of birds chilling. Even our birds, they're always like, because they got those pea-sized brains. Like a lion, because they chill. I mean, meerkats are pretty cool. They got a lot of pep. You know, they like to sing. Bald eagle. See, llama, Exner gets me. I was going to say llamas after emu. Because I was thinking about the life of a llama. You know, they got the bangs over their eyes. They're always kind of like, fuck yourself. And then if you piss them off, they just spit in your face. Yeah. If I was going to be a sassy animal, like Story's the emu, I'm the llama, we're just inseparable. Every time the farmer comes, he chases the farmer to me and I just spit in his face. We're just tearing, just little hellions. But he produces the best eggs, and then for some reason I'm like an attack llama. So I keep the flock safe, and the farmer can't get rid of us because we're too valuable. So ultimately he just puts up with us fucking with him constantly. Yeah, I could see llama. Llama's solid, man. Because it's just how they fuck with you. They don't really... They're more prone to bite and spit, so you don't have to worry about like the kicking and the rearing and all that stuff. And then plus you get the fur, which is super useful. Llama's a good one. Llama's a good one. Storyteller Merc, I want to be a turtle like the 100-year living turtle so I can see so much. So that's cool, man. Like Turtle from Master Roshi, like he's seen some shit, you know? Super low key, just kind of chill. He's a little scared, but always steps up when it matters. And you kind of like, you know, or if you go the Finding Nemo route, like then you're like a surfer dude, you know? God, the turtle. So the only issue with the turtle is I do like having, you know, some agility. I want to be able to fast twitch if I need to. And I just know turtles aren't, they'd pull something. Like even, have you ever just picked up a turtle? They just flail. I don't want my only option to be a flail. So what if we somehow had a turtle llama combo? Like what you thought Yoshi was, you know? Yoshi doesn't have a shell, in case anybody thought he did. Oh, man, and a giraffe? See, now we're talking animals, and I do like animals. Because a giraffe would be badass. Have you ever seen giraffes fight? They are violent, man. Imagine if you neck fought. I've seen people neck fight. It's crazy. Well, I think on that note, y'all, I want to say this was a great morning with Markus. I think it's more appropriate to do this on Twitch than anything else. I think the more we do it, the better it's going to get. But I mean, how do you get better than perfect? I think Markus is going to go potty because he got a potty. Markus got a potty because there ain't no better potty. So with that being said, what? Oh, I bet you the battery died. With that being said, thank you all for being here. Thank you for being you. And I will see you, legends, on the next one. Bye-bye.